winning Academy Finals is really important because we take the championship home for the boys, and I think it'll really be the culmination of all of our hard work. We've had a lot of road bumps along the way, and I think that being able to take home the title will prove that we've overcome all obstacles and can prove to be that any one of our players can be on an LCS team.
Hello and welcome back for Game 2 between TSM Academy and Cloud9 Academy. We're back, Crumbs. TSM, they picked blue side here for Game number 2, and kind of hard to blame them. It feels like even on red side in Game 1, they couldn't really do too much wrong.
Yeah, they had a great Game 1. They're looking to take it home for the boys, and it's going to be a huge deal because when we talk about Academy, it's pretty much always just Cloud9 Academy. If TSM comes in there, beats Cloud9, all of a sudden, this is an entire division of players that are legitimately top-tier caliber. Remember, Cloud9 went into the LCS, crushed Clutch Gaming. If they lose to TSM, what could TSM have done had they gone in there?
I think shows a lot about the growth of players like Grig, like a BlazeOlive, especially who did not have the best of splits in summer. Shows the growth of their new players like Tactical, like Brandini, who moved over on a pretty successful Academy team. I believe he was on EchoFox in summer, which did better than TSM might have done in that playoff. So clearly whatever they have been doing is working, including what they did in Game 1. So we'll have to see what changes here. Now on the blue side, they'll continue to ban Kindred away from Blabber, and Cloud9 will have to pay the Silas tax.
Yeah, and I guarantee you that that Kindred ban is going to be a perma ban from TSM Academy. TSM was banning it in their main series against EchoFox as well, so this is a pick that if you know what Blabber is like, you just get rid of it. You prepare your draft and you say, what are the champions that we must ban from now on? Kindred, that's it. So now we're working with 2 bans in the first set of bans. So that's what TSM looks like they're doing moving forward. And Cloud9, they've also agreed to do the same thing with Sona. So a lot of less flexibility in the first rotation of bans, which means that these first picks end up being really explosive. And it doesn't get it more explosive in your AD carry department than Lucian.
Yeah, they took it. They banned it away from Keith in the last game. Now with the Sivir ban, they'll take it for themselves, their first pick. Also respecting the power of Ryze, they maybe didn't want to pick it here with something like Lucian available, so they banned it. And also Talia, which I have to assume is another Blabber ban, a jungler that he's probably very well versed on and is great when you want to be aggressive.
And that's such an valuable addition to any team when you have a jungler that has these unique picks that not many other junglers are playing, that the other team has to ban. It frees up so many bans that you usually see being thrown across the first rotation, such as Alessandra, that now can be picked up. Another flex pick. I do want to see Cloud9 use the flex pick a little bit more red side. It's easier to do that with, so hopefully they save a solo lane for the last pick. So you lock in the Thresh here, makes a lot of sense. Strong early and mid game, lots of ganking power, but don't lock in your next solo lane unless it's another flex pick though, unless it's another flex pick.
Yeah, both the supports though well versed in the ways of Thresh, so we'll take it away from Treats. Diamond will pilot the champion this go round. And TSM Academy, where do they want to go? Do they want something like Braum to make the lane nice and aggressive? Grig has also been playing a lot of Elise, so might just want to take it here. Doesn't show too much. It's a pick he's very comfortable on, and certainly one that you can get aggressive and snowball with if you feel like it.
So the Braum is going to be super aggro because with Elise, they have great synergy. She procs the stun very easily. She can turn into range form, assist with that even further. You do have Teamfights, but wait a minute, going with a Nautilus, that's a support. Now,
I assume so.
You can flex it. We sure hope that that's not the case, but it's definitely
Nautilus mid, baby. Don't be style.
Well, it's going to be a good lane into Lissandra, right? Like, you can actually tank the Lissandra. So typically you see answers to that champion in being just big meatballs that can't be bursted down. So Sion is a good alternative. Nautilus may be making its debut here, so we may be seeing something just brand new in Academy MSI Finals. In what better place?
We did talk about TSM Academy having a lot of different strategies prepared. Grig even said himself after the semi-final win that they feel very well prepared with a lot of different picks. So Jinx now for Cloud9 Academy. Keith will go to kind of his other pick that we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of Lucian, we've seen a lot of Jinx, so it falls on the Jinx side this time around. Also a Cassio ban here away from a BlazeOlive. who had good showings on the champion as well.
And you lock in the Nautilus when Morgana is not first pick, because Morgana Black Shield will
Yes, that makes
completely
sense.
mitigate the ultimate. So we may not even know if this was something that TSM had planned to use in game 1. Maybe they're looking to use Nautilus a lot more often than we previously thought off the first game. However, they're definitely not down for more Aatrox, so it's going to be banned once again in the second rotation. And maybe the Yasuo as well. Who knows? No, Morgana is gone.
They're continuing to hit Blabber, I feel like, for TSM Academy. Again, wanting to keep him off more of the explosive, more carry-oriented champions. I mean, after that Lee Sin game, he did have good bouts of early pressure, but I think TSM feel comfortable playing against something like that versus, you know, his Aatrox.
Man, what a smile.
And there's Rek'Sai, so Blabber continuing to lose picks here in the draft.
That's how I envision most of my solo queue players.
Just
My teammates.
smiling.
No,
smiling
just
away.
pieces of cardboard.
Oh, the other way, okay. Ash, a signature for Keith, but I don't think so.
No, and the Rek'Sai ban is
Hecarim I like.
there's even more bans to Blabber, but yes, the Hecarim jungle can be played. It's also a flex pick, so this is a super nice 4th pick out of Cloud9. Gives you so much room to be creative with your draft, and the W. You are benefiting from champions that do a lot of burst. You have no cap as to how much you can heal. So Lissandra Hecarim, super strong engage, and when you're up against a Jace, that's exactly what you want. But if they were to somehow find a way to sneak the Taric into this composition, we would have a really strong answer to a hard engage comp.
We'll have to see. I mean, Jace locked in can also be kind of go either way, so seems like they're already FLICK. Okay, what's happened?
Bam, called it. That's wait a minute, no we didn't. No, I didn't.
I think it's Nautilus support now.
Yeah, so it is the Nautilus support, but it is going to be the Scion into the Lissandra. I think that's a matchup that you want to look for. It's really hard for the Liz to burst him down. The atomization is very easy for you to just stay in that lane 24/7, and Cloud9 is going to double down on the meatballs and give us a Poppy. That's probably the Poppy in the top lane and Jungle Hecarim.
All right, so you're right. I was not expecting Jungle Hecarim, especially with how much heck Licorice has been playing on Cloud9 main, but looks like Blabber has decided that, you know what, I couldn't find a carry last time. You guys banned them all, so has to dig deep, pulls out Hecarim from his bag of tricks.
Yeah, well, the buff to his Q helps him in any lane whatsoever, and you just don't want to have the Hecarim going up against the Jace when it gets locked in. That matchup is going to suck so much, so you might as well put someone else that's going to have an easier time. Poppy is the one to do that. In combination with the hard engage, she makes Lucian and Jace's life a living hell because there's not a lot of damage in this team besides those two members. If they can lock those two down, the rest is easy peasy.
Yeah, big front line on the side of TSM, but nice call on the Scion mid. Haven't seen that one in a while, but makes sense given the matchup, and there's not too much else that goes on as far as the 1v1. And more utility for Kumo and Golden Glue, definitely leaning on Keith and Blabber to do the lion's share of damage this go around. Again, Golden Glue sticking to more of the utility.
Yeah, well, Lissandra at least has the ability to make plays on her own, and she has mobility, so she's not going to be worried about champions like Jarvan or anybody coming to her lane and not being able to respond properly or being putting a lot of pressure. So I think this makes a lot more sense for Golden Glue. This was the pick that he used when they subbed in the roster into the LCS as well, so he definitely has a lot of experience with it.
Yeah, big power pick, so curious to see how the game all shakes out. They did, of course, have to trade it for Lucian, which is Tactical's pick, to see if he can find a bit more aggression in the 2v2 bot lane. Keith and Diamond were hard shoving all game long, and it didn't seem to matter when the mid game rolled around, but we'll see if the script changes here as TSM Academy and Cloud9 Academy move on to game number 2.
This bottom lane is going to be so aggro, and I'm going to be looking at Grig to be able to enable that aggro, because when it's Thresh versus Nautilus, it's hook after hook after hook, all in every single time, or at least 50% of your HP, and the least is the champion that assists that more than anybody else, especially when you shove in and you can tower dive. Level 3 tower dives is what I want to see out of Grig. You can go to the top lane, you can dive the Poppy if Brandini pushes the wave well. Same thing with every other lane, and he had 100% kill participation in 15 like the death showed us in the previous segment, so if he keeps that up, this is going to be a really fed spider.
Almost like a fake ward there from Treats and Grig as Cloud9 also moving in to try and get some information. Everyone's holding onto their trinkets for now. And looks like everyone will just get their early info and then back away to start off their respective jungle parts. But certainly a lot of potential if Treats can get out of the lane and try and roam. Between Elise and Nautilus, you don't go anywhere when the first CC lands.
Absolutely not. The ultimate of Nautilus is one of the toughest to deal with ultis of a hard engage in the game, just because it's so similar to Vile, and Vile is oppressive. There's nothing you can do about it, whether you flash, whether you ghost, you're still gonna have to stay in one place.
Blabber getting some help here on his red. Grig also got help by his duo lane. So junglers will start on the opposite side of the map this time around. Definitely expecting quite a lot of farming from Blabber, but as you mentioned, you'd like to see Grig work some of these lanes. And in general, from when we've seen his Elise, particularly calling back to their semi-final, when Grig decides to really punish a lane with Elise, he just hammers that lane. It's so unfun.
Oh, it's definitely very fun to watch. I love watching.
I guess you're a jungler, so
Yeah.
that makes sense that you, from your side.
I mean, part of jungling, especially in these playoff-like games, is identifying who is most likely to tilt. What player can you impact the most and have them ruin their games from now on? Because it's not a best of one where, okay, they can just forget about it. They're going to have to come back again and again. And so if you can get in their heads and say, man, he's really has it out for me this series, maybe next time around you're playing a passive jungler and the opposing player fails to realize that you're not going to be jumping him, he plays less aggro.
Hook lands, there's the Riptide, but double play from Diamond is going to force them on the spot. Rockets out from Keith do win the trade versus Tactical. Nice to see the first hook land, but didn't really get the good end of that trade, as the Blaze Olive also struggling with the Qs. It can be tough as a melee champion versus Sandra. She is very good at punishing if she can land those Qs.
It's not the best matchup early on, but as you get your Spectre's Cowl, as you get your skills up, it becomes easier and easier, just like Sion has.
Hey, look at the dive you called out.
Hecarim is not here, and she's level 2, so he doesn't have the W. She just hit 3. Okay, the shield is down. Grig should be the one to start this.
Trying to be patient. Cocoon misses. They're going to go in for it anyway. TP in. Kumo with the slam, and that might just be a kill on his own. Repel going to have to come back down. Grig there, but that's first blood to Golden Glue, who gets double buffs as well.
And that's all on Grig. You missed the cocoon and you committed to the fight. This is what's going to happen. Golden Glue gets to get in there. And now he's got double buffs back against that Sion lane that we saw was pushed into the turret. So this is going to be really good for Golden Glue moving on and for Kumo. Let's take another look at how
Kumo played this so well, I feel like.
Yeah, so he finds a way to hit level 3. And now he's dodging back and forth. He knows that in this position, he always has the turret to fall back on. So he's going to be able to hit that stun so well. And another little tidbit. Even though Elise's Q is not necessarily a dash, because she moves like a dash, it still gets interrupted by the Poppy W. So her hitting level 3 is a huge deal in that dive. And you can trace it all the way back to how the lane was played, and you could say, well, maybe Brandini could have played differently, yada, yada. Well, end of the day, you should have hit the cocoon.
Yep, that's kind of what it comes down to. Instead, it's Cloud9 that get the first blood once more. As Golden Blue moves back to his lane with those 2 buffs and 2 Dark Seals. Kuma now starting to maybe bully a little bit here. Does have the Doran Shield next to that Corrupting Potion. Has already TP'd back. Brandini still hasn't taken his first base, so trade should be a little bit more favorable once he is able to complete the base, but he is sticking around here, perhaps a bit greedily, as we can see Blabber is on this side of the map.
He is here, but Hecarim is going to be trying to farm. He's not going to be looking to keep up with Elise's ganking pattern. She's just way more flexible when it comes to being able to tower dive and impact the map, but losing that first dive is a big deal. She's now a little bit behind, and now ghosting Hecarim.
Ghost pop by Blabber. They're going to go for the dive straight through the lane. They had the wall, but it just doesn't matter. And Kuma able to slam down Brandini.
You can't flash out of that.
Yeah, the E.
Yeah. He took it and went the other way.
The world's longest range auto attack, it feels like, but Blabber just clicks on him after the E. Brandini can't flash anywhere. And Kuma gets a kill for himself.
Wow, that was really painful for the Jace. The first gank hurts his lane, and now they're going on
Oh,
Grig.
slow flash play. Diamond looking for the hook. Does not land it. Grig with some nice dancing shoes gets out. Does have to burn the flash though, so not too bad here. Diamond will trade his off, but this gank was set up really well by Blabber.
It was. Look at Kumo's positioning. He's waiting. He has his abilities. Hits the slow right away, but the flash, unfortunately, it's not going to dodge it. you're still going to get hit, and it puts him ready to get wall slam.
Yep, knockback, and then Kumo just plays cleanup nice and easy. So top lane that was looking good in the early stages for TSM Academy is gone from bad to worse.
And now they may not even have enough damage to dive or kill the Poppy in a 2v1 situation. This is going to be really rough. They're looking for a return gank. Hecarim is not 6th, though.
Pretty close. Needs maybe 2 more minions to die if he's in range. There's one. Oh, needs more. Maybe out of range as well. Blabber is sticking around here, but maybe just to cover more than anything else. Looks to recall. Ding 6 goes back into his jungle. Says thanks for the XP, Kumo.
But now Brandini doesn't have enough room in this lane to play aggro, which is the whole point of Jace versus Poppy. You want to be able to zone her off the wave, to harass, to make sure that she falls behind in CS. They're basically dead even, 47 to 42. So Poppy has made it out of laning phase successfully. Grig is in the area, but because they don't have full vision of Hecarim, she can't go for this without fearing that Hecarim is going to counter gank it, and a Hecarim level 6 counter gank is death for everyone.
Yeah, Blabber already with that early success is going to look to build on that. He's now got the ulti ready to go. As you mentioned, Brandini has to play very differently now that the lane has already started off the wrong way. Kumo clearly well practiced in this matchup. We did see Cloud9 main again use this exact matchup versus Jace, so Kumo has got a lot of sparring time, I'm sure, with Licorice playing both sides of this matchup.
And you're totally right, because that's what you actually practice. You go to your buddy and like, hey man, I know you're playing this matchup, I'm playing this matchup too. Let's practice it 15 minutes before our scrims, and you go into a custom and you just 1v1, no jungle pressure, and that changes things so drastically, but it does give you an specific feel for how it would go without jungle pressure, for what the maximum each champion can do in a 1v1. And knowing those limits is really important to translate into the LCS stage, and understanding when is a good time to gank and when it's not.
Yeah, plenty of nuance to learn regardless of the matchup, although maybe in mid lane not as much, as it's just a farm fest for now. Golden Glue keeping up a couple of CS, but looks like a Blaze Olive, as you alluded to, is tanky enough, although he did not go Spectre's Cal first. So he might be seeing a different kind of Sion.
But he's still strong enough to just survive. No, I don't think that's a different kind of Sion. Maybe.
No?
You think that's AD Sion? Is that what you're suggesting?
Maybe. I'm saying it's a possibility.
Okay.
I'm saying there's a chance,
I'm
Crows.
gonna agree with you, because that's probably just the Sterax gate, right? You get crowd control reduction off that. There's so much CC on the Cloud9 lineup. Gives you a bigger boost of HP. And with Sion, it's the best ultimate or item for you. You have infinite HP, potentially. So it scales infinitely as well.
Grig on the Cloud Drake in the meantime, as TSM's bot lane has found a bit more strength. Looks like they've taken 2 plates, 1 plate already. Can't count the notches, excuse me. It's Kumo with the ulti. Blabber here again. Goodbye, Brandini. Feels bad, man. Smited and taken out. Gonna take a little while longer than maybe they expected, but Blabber says, give me the kill, and Kumo says, yes, sir.
Yeah, that is rough for the Jace. Now he's really far behind. They might even be threatening to take down this turret with that charge attack. Probably not enough damage. And the hard part for TSM is that while the Sion matchup can survive Lissandra, you can find opportunities to roam, Sion's ultimate, his best ability to engage, is in a straight line. From the mid lane, you really have no straight lines to tower dive. You only can go up and down the river, so unless a fight happens in river, you can't really get there quickly enough, and that's not as useful as a Lissandra that can go over the walls and fight in the jungle a lot better.
Yeah, it feels like there's just no help coming in the top lane right now, and if you ever weren't sure about Blabber's tendencies as a player, he has Rush Warrior, he is going Trinity Force with almost 100% certainty, so if you're a fan of big carry Hecarim, that's going to be what Blabber's going for, I have to guess.
If you're not playing carry Hecarim, why are you playing Hecarim?
Because the rest of his kit's good!
Yeah,
You have to build some damage.
yeah, but carry's so much
Sometimes
more
you build
fun
a Frozen
and
Heart.
effective.
That's true.
Right now, I think you
Spoken like a solo queue
damage
player.
is more effective, right? Just go full damage, because you have a GA. GA is just the item that justifies all of your damage needs.
It's coverage for your poor choices.
Exactly. You die, okay, I got another chance.
Sounds like you've been playing some Hecarim jungle and solo queue with Golden Glue. Gonna
I
grab
played
2
Master
plates
Yi.
and get away. Oh no. It's okay, I won't tell you what champions I play. You're forgiven.
If it's worse than
Trust me.
saying Yi, then
It's
I
worse.
don't even want to hear it.
That's why I'm not telling you. It's Pro Develop finisher Golden Glue. P being back in the mid lane.
Yeah, so it is going to be the Sterex gauge being built
Makes sense as a
by
first
a Blaze Olive, and I believe he also has Spellbook, which is why he has a cleanse available, so you might be able to switch off into Teleport, switch off into other summoner spells, and see how creative you can get.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember what his main summoner is, if it's Cleanse or TP, but I would have to guess it's one of those, but having options is nice, and it has been good to see Spellbook rotate back in on some champions. Kumo with that Sunfire looking to finish off the turret, and maybe Brandini as Blabber is back again.
And he's got no reason to be elsewhere. You're not killing mid lane. Don't even look at mid lane, and because mid is on the way to bottom, don't even go bottom. So just stay top. That's the jungle logic, by the way.
Bottom lane also going fine on both sides, so I think teams are just happy to farm it out there. Blabber won't stick around for too long. We'll move in for a little bit of jungle information, as Golden Glue has to deal with that wave there in mid. Grig was also covering top, and a Blaze Olive has looked left as well. So TSM Academy starting to protect Brandini a little bit more, but as far as the day snowballing, it's kind of too late for that situation. It's more about controlling the damage that's already been done.
Yeah, so when Jace is going to be able to beat Poppy now, it's going to be at 3 items.
And that's a long way away.
He's going to need to go very specific items as well. So Blade of the Ruined King helps a ton in this matchup. The lifesteal, the speed, the sustain, it makes a difference, and the armor penetration, because Poppy's going to continue to stack that, especially when the only carries are Lucian and Jace. So without those items picked up, Brandini's going to be constantly pushed in by Kumo, and an easy target for Blabber to dive, because the more damage Hecarim builds, the tankier Poppy can be. She can provide the turret shot absorption, and Hecarim just does the killing.
All right, well, Grig is coming to their strong side of the map now. Rotates in, and Blaze Olive also moves down the river, and that will be that first turret over, still before 14 minutes, so TSM looking to collect all the plate gold here from this bot outer turret, and the bonus gold that first brick brings as well. Treat's also coming through mid lane. There's the ulti, but he went a little too far left. Maybe actually intended as he looks for the Rift Tower. Blabber way too low on HP. He's going to have to smite the Herald to try and get out of there. But that's the kill for Kumo onto a Blaze Olive as Blabber still alive somehow with his ulti ready as Brandini will find the snipe. Now Golden Glue into stasis. Here's Grig back down again. Grabs himself the Rift Tower. Golden Glue self-ult, trying to buy a little bit more time. Golden Glue left out alone in a 1v2. Will not be able to survive it. Kumo does get the kill in the top half of the play. The hook will miss there for Treats, and a messy fight in the left side river.
And that was such a good roam from Treats. They know they have the bottom turret secured already, and they understand that Blabber is camping top lane. They're probably going for the Herald. A Blaze Olive ults right away to try to collapse. We were just saying the only place Sion can collapse is in a fight in the river. They're going in Herald, and even though the Hecarim doesn't get hit by the Sion ult, it buys enough time for that Treats can get there and assist the rest of the team. And hey, they stole that Herald too. So now TSM walks away with first brick and the Rift Herald that's going to be able to secure even more objectives for them.
Only 4 plates on the bottom outer, unfortunately for them. But we'll watch this exchange again.
So Golden Glue doesn't have enough mana to really take this fight, and he knows that everyone's collapsing.
The Drift King.
Great drift, and even though Hecarim is kind of low, he does hit the smite. Jace tries to commit. Blaze Olive is still kind of swishing to the double physical damage, so he dies right away, but the Sion stays alive, just batting away in Ghost form, and buys enough time for Grig to steal, and the Sandra just can't do anything. He wasn't as quick to the fight as the Sion was with his car mode.
Beautifully timed Cocoon there as well from Grig. Does get them the extra kill. Face check though from Diamond, and he's going to pop into stasis, but Grig still fighting it out. Blabber trying to do what he can. Diamond shields himself. The heal comes out as well from Keith to try and save him. Treat's now low. Blabber still getting in there. Doesn't have an ulti as Grig is tagged by that slow, but no kills somehow on either side as Golden Glue still hunting.
That's what happens when the Elise is far behind and not fed. She doesn't have enough to burst anybody down. Luckily, we're already past the point where stopwatches are inactive. He can use it to buy enough time for the rest of the team. And
oh, good knock up there. Keith is going to be forfeit. A Blaze Olive with a sneaky short ult.
he just dies out of nowhere.
Gets himself the kill. They wanted the turret. Kumo did get first brick finally in the top lane, but greed from Cloud9 does cost them here in the bot lane.
Yes, the Jinx is not the target you want to be dying on early. You need to be scaling. She's going to be one of the major win conditions for this team that doesn't really have a lot of damage later. They're going onto Lissandra.
Oh, what a
Gets nothing.
flash Q, calling from Tacticals enough to get the kill, and he just gets away with the turret while Ollie's at it.
That's the same thing. They're not respecting the Sion-Lucian combination. You're stuck right there thinking, okay, they can't catch up to me, but they certainly can. This comp does a lot of work early. That's the power of the Lucian. That's why it was banned in game 1. So we're going to take another look at what happens in this bot side with Blabber and Tactical. So he's going to go on him. Wow, that's half his life. What the hell? What? Yeah, okay, that's more damage than I think we're used to, but back to another
Oh,
fight.
Blabber with a big ult. Drake already over to TSM, though, is Tactical now going to get chased down. Rockets out from Jinx. Keith with a Mega Death Rocket straight in the face. He's going to get himself a double. Going to look for the triple, finds it with a crit rocket. And Keith exploding into the game.
And we don't get to see the start of that fight, but we sure see the end of it. And Keith is now 4-1. He just gives 1 kill away, but it was all just a bait. It was a ruse. He's now
resetting
in
the bounty.
Carry mode. 4-1. Jinx is online. She's activated. The composition is all of a sudden capable of firing on all cylinders. You've got your fed Poppy, the Jinx in the bottom lane that's going to be able to crack down the turret. And once you get one turret on Jinx, and you can start moving around, every other tower falls like paper.
This is more the pace of game I think we're expecting between these two sides as we pick things up into the mid game. Blabber maybe feeling a little too unsafe low in his own jungle, so we'll back out of there. Grig will pop Herald mid. He's maybe running out of time, but not bad, as he does at least want to get damage onto that mid outer, but Blaze Olive is going to have to escort it. You think it's bad?
I think it's bad. I mean, you don't find the timing to do it because there are so many fights happening on the map that you just have to pop it here, but can Golden Glue stop it? I think he can.
Oh,
hey, what? Jelly?
Oh,
Oh
right.
my god.
Distracted, Cloud9 play it well, and
That's why, because you see it coming from so long that unless the other team AFKs for a little bit, you're not going to connect.
well, nice job Cloud9, shutting down the Herald and keeping their turret advantage for now. Keith also now with 2 items finished after that last exchange and those 3 kills that he picked up, so feeling pretty good about shooting down both turrets and champions. Still,
there's so much engage on Cloud9's side that it's really distracting. You can't go on Keith because there's just so much CC to get past that he's almost guaranteed to get a lot of damage in. The worst thing that can happen to him is Treats ults him, but they're going on to Elise.
Riggs the target.
Nowhere to go.
Get ignited as well. Timing now in the mix is Blabber going to try and find the backline. Treats does get the shutdown onto the Jinx, so Keith out of the fight for now as it will continue. Golden Glue flashing in. 4-man root with a W there, and that's just carnage there for Cloud9. They'll lose one more, but Brandini forced to flash away. They'll chase down a Blaze Olive. And Cloud9 going to pick up almost everyone in this exchange as Blabber lands the triple.
The Hecarim was there to clean up everybody. He does so much damage alongside Lissandra. And even though TSM got the jump on them in a way by eliminating Keith immediately, the rest of C9 was there to collapse so quickly and effectively that it didn't matter that they didn't have an AD carry. The rest of the team is still fed. They go onto Grig right away, and yes, he's half HP. He's forced to repel, but the Sion eliminates the Jinx in the back, and you're thinking, okay, this looks great. The rest of Cloud9 is so tanky right now, and there's not enough damage on the side of TSM to really follow through. The cooldowns are not there yet, and when everybody's clumped up, this AoE comp with meatballs is gonna thrive.
Yeah, Blabber is just doing so much damage in these team fights. Golden Glue also, you mentioned it, Lissandra, maybe not the fanciest of champions, but certainly a playmaker, and Golden Glue made that play.
Look at that. Look at the damage of the Hecarim.
That's a lot of Qs.
4,215 damage. How much of that is true damage? How much of that is healing him? Because with a burst comp, Poppy's really burst of her Q. Same thing with the stun and Lissandra. He can heal so much. Now he's in a 1v1 with Jinx.
Blabber didn't have Triforce when that last one started, so I'm curious if he has it now. Goodbye, Brandini! Stasis might save him. There's the ult. He's going to try and get another one-shot, but he does get shut down by Tactical. Now Golden Glue forced back into self-ult. Stasis as Diamond finds a play on attack. Grig low, but there's the ulti out of a Blaze Olive, just trying to be a frontline there for the rest of his side. Treats finds the grab on Keith. Ignite is down again with a combo as Tactical will take out Diamond. Cloud9 Academy this time. They're too far forward.
And that is probably the worst time ever to test your limits. 20 minutes in, TSM has a Mountain Dragon, and they're pinging Baron. That's where they're going. They have enough damage here with the Blade of the Ruined King. Grig can heal. Are they going to start it or try to bait Kumo in?
Would Golden Glue just TP'd back to mid lane, I believe. So he's going to be here with Kumo for some sort of coverage. Right now, Kumo getting shot off here. Whoa! Wall slam into Grig, finds the pick off. Gonna face check a BlazeOlly, but he's just so tanky that I don't think these two can get a kill. In fact, Golden Glue might be able to turn it back around. Here's Brandini, though Kumo, I think maybe now a bridge too far. He's gonna get knocked up. A good four-man keeper's verdict, but the shutdown lands. Treats lands another big hook as Blabber is back out on the map, but he doesn't have ult. He's gonna try and force them away.
That was a shutdown that Kumo just gave away. A really nice engage onto the Elise, but she was already 1-3-2. You're a 4-0 Poppy. Was that worth it? It just might actually, because now they're in a position to take that Mountain Dragon. Let's take another look at this fight and how it all went down. So Brandini did not get the fuse right away with the Empowered Shock Blast, so he doesn't have that much upfront burst. Buys enough time for the rest of the team to collapse. That's a bit greedy out of Blabber. And from this point on, you're thinking, all right, just pull out, take out the Lantern, but he doesn't position himself to give a Lantern and get out. He's in there to get in the mix, and Keith back and forth, pacing back and forth, gets hit by the hook, then the ultimate, and, well, I thought TSM would surely go for the Baron off that, and look at that, man. Just so happy.
I'd be
every
smiling
play
too after that play, because he just sniped Keith with a giant hook the size of your average anchor, which is fairly impressive.
That's gonna live forever.
I hope if they win, he lifts the trophy first. That's
They
fine.
just put him next to the trophy.
Just put him in. That's not big enough. Next year. Anyway, hook lands, but only a BlazeOlly, relatively tanky. Where Blabber fancies himself yet another scrap. Kumo, bit of damage down with a slow. Treats with another hook. Finds it onto Diamond, but Golden Glue in the back line is Diamond. He's going to kite it out. There's just so much happening in the backside. The shutdown lands onto the Lucian as Keith takes out Tack. He's getting himself a triple. That's going to be the quadra kill. Penta on the horizon. Give it over. Greg, the last one left standing. There's the rocket. It didn't crit. Keith with the red buff gets the pentakill.
In game 2, he finds a pentakill. Keith is so fed. The 4-1 Jinx now finds a way to really seal the deal. The composition was built to protect him. He gets engaged on right away by Trees, but there's just no follow-up. He has so much room in the back. 9-3-1 and Jinx. Now they two-man the Baron. This looks like it's Cloud9's wheelhouse.
Yeah, no smite needed. Gold Lead continuing to grow. They're going to try and buy a little bit more time to give at least Blabber another Baron buff. So Golden Glue cannot receive it, but Baron over to Cloud9. That gold lead is massive. Let's watch this one again.
And so the big thing to note is that Treats uses the ultimate on Keith almost right away. But there's nobody in here. There's nobody to follow up. They're all glumped up. No time for Poke to go in. And yes, it's a nice hook. But look at that. All right, you ulted the Jinx. So what? She's still dealing damage. She's actually going to kill you right away. So she finds a really good angle on the ultimate to secure the kill on the AD carry. And then it just resets City.
And we talked about Golden Glue and Blabber being big players for this comp. Nice kill, by the way, from Grig, but gave over the Penta, so maybe it was worth it.
It's the best kinds of Penta, though. The burn that does it. Ugh. Really, really stings.
That's how I look when I get
Not even
Penta
smiling? Wow.
Stoic.
I guess
the stoic
bigger,
is Treats.
Bigger deal to us than it is to him.
He gets Pentas all the time. I don't get to cost that many. So I guess that makes sense. It's Cloud9 again, big gold lead, big Baron. Looking to knock down a few more turrets. Initiation, though, starting up for BlazeOlly with the ulti in, but they lock up Grig and they just shut him down instantly. Again, an ult from Keith, but it's just too late to matter. Cloud9 in the fight. So much disruption in the backline between their front three. Brandini does get a trade kill onto Blabber, but it's just slim picking for the rest of TSM Academy. Kumo running interference, slows down Brandini, finds a two-man keeper's verdict as Golden Glue still going to chase it down. Flash Q misses. His team asks him to use his flash, but it's Keith that finally seals it at the end of it with yet another ulti, and Cloud9 find the ace and they'll break down the base.
And this looks like deja vu. You get a Baron, you push into the top side, and now they're going to be going to end the game. Jinx is so fast at pushing. She's the most fed member. Can it be over this fast?
Who needs more than one Baron? Grig back alive to try and stop the Cloud9 onslaught. That minion's still there. Keith smashing away in minigun form. Grig is just going to watch his Nexus crumble into tiny little pieces. Cloud9 Academy will even up the series. They'll take down Grig. Keith goes godlike, and Cloud9 answer back.
These games are so action-packed, fight after fight, but they all have meanings behind it, all for objectives, they all make sense, and we've got ourselves a series pastry because these two games look kind of similar, just on reverse sides.
And you know how you were mentioning way back when we had that first pause that you would put Hecarim in a Master Yi comp because it's enough for distraction?
Yeah.
It turns out Lissandra Hecarim is enough for distraction that Keith casually picks up the pentakill.
Well, the AoE fear is such a big deal. You just get in there and think about it. If you hit 3 people, you bought 6 seconds worth of time for your team to free fire, and 6 seconds of a Jinx dealing damage is more than enough to wipe a team.
And that's kind of how the fights went, it felt like, at the end of the game. It was back and forth throughout the mid-game, but Cloud9 Academy, again, they find 2 fights, the deja vu happens, and this time it's them that end the game on red side after Baron 1.
It's a composition that I think suits them a lot better. Blabber can do a lot of damage. They can be aggressive and pull the trigger whenever every member sees the opportunity, not just waiting on, oh, I need this guy to be here before I engage. No, we should all be here. Let's all go.
Well, for a breakdown of Game 2, let's throw it back to Dash, Mark, and Demonte at the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. 1-1 is the series score now as Cloud9 strikes back from the red side. Crum said there that he thinks the composition that time around much better suited them. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I think the comp is just overall much better. You had Golden Glow and a champion that can like really roam and make a bigger impact on the game. And I think a big highlight this game was Kumo's Poppy. I feel like he pretty much carried this game alone until later when Keith is getting a pentakill and popping off that way too. But all of early game was off the back of Kumo.
Yeah, and it is like TSM still drafted a way stronger early game team comp. Like, yes, C9 was still the less proactive early game, but you can't do anything about that when the enemy team takes Elise, Nautilus of all things, and Lucian. So their comp was still better for playing aggressive. Lissandra and Hecarim are better overall than a Morgana or something. So it was not all early game, but still a step in the right direction.
You talk about the story of this game being the top side of the map for C9. Golden Glue had his influence on the top side of the map in those early plays. The dive attempt comes through for TSM very early on, but small mechanical errors means that instead a kill goes over to that Poppy.
Yeah, I mean, this is the Jace Poppy matchup. The Jace builds a lead, builds a big wave, and you kind of have to kill the Poppy in a turret. You have to go for this dive. You're trying to wait the shield out. There it goes. Whiff! And as soon as you miss on that, you get the Poppy able to press the W to block the Spider Form Q damage, and they don't have enough to kill the Poppy now. And the TP completes, his dive has gone completely wrong. And in the Jace Poppy matchup, when that happens, the Jace is suddenly super on the back foot. And if that wasn't bad enough, he didn't back after that failed dive attempt, is sitting underneath his turret with no mana, getting pushed in, and then this happens.
Even through a ward, it doesn't matter. Here comes Blabber. The ghost gets activated. The flash attempt is futile. Another kill going over. So you have a 1-0-1 Poppy.
Boy.
You pre-level 6 at that point. Off to the races. There's nothing a Jace can do.
No, yeah, I mean, at that point in the game, really, Brandini and Greg are sitting there in comms just saying, guys, we screwed up. I really hope we can win this, but we did not do our job.
Yeah, it's an early game comp.
Yeah.
Because it was the bot lane was super early game too. The other team has the Hecarim. They're outscaled literally all 5 positions basically.
Yeah.
And that's your early game. The game should be over instantly 4 minutes in.
I was going to say, I'll be honest. After that play happened, I turned to Demonte. I said, all right, putting your team in this situation on clutch, like what are you guys talking about right now to get this game back? And he goes, oh, God, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything. And to your point, it did feel like the game was over and should have been over. And this is where maybe we can start talking about some criticisms to be thrown toward Cloud9's way in that it wasn't a clean finish from that point onward. There were multiple fights in which it looked like TSM was clawing their way back in slowly. Not like they were ever in the lead or back in control, but C9 was giving them opportunities to come back.
Yeah, like you said, at that point in the game, when TSM messes up that bad early, you kind of have to hope the other team messes up now in order to like get your chance back in the game. And C9 showed a lot of holes in their game. They took a lot of fights they shouldn't have. They took fights where they didn't even have numbers advantage. In situations when they had like TP on Lissandra and Cyan had no TP. So it's like really, really simple stuff that should not be happening if this team like wants to stomp the finals or like, wants to win convincingly.
Yeah, I think what was weird was it almost made me feel worse about C9 in this series with how difficult this game became for them. And at no point did it feel like they were actually going to lose, but it was like, oh my God, it's down to a 2K gold lead at one point, which is very surprising. Part of that could be because you know you outscale and the early game went so well, you kind of like breathe a sigh of release and kind of start playing loose,
Yeah, exactly.
way too loose. And so hopefully it was more of a mentality problem than like an actual our gameplay is not good problem. It's hard to say from the outside.
Yeah, playing fast and loose with the lead, maybe it's hard to get inside the player's head from our perspective here, but it definitely does not give us a vote of confidence in Cloud9 when you have that kind of a lead that feels insurmountable, and then you're almost looking for
You
opportunities.
make it look surmountable.
Yeah,
almost.
and then you make it look surmountable. All that said, we mentioned how Keith was really the star of the show in the latter half of the game, coming up with that pentakill, huge on Jinx. This is a signature champion of his.
Oh yeah, he played this team fight really well. I think you're gonna see he like steps away from the tank line for a little bit just to get this ult off, and this was huge, honestly.
Yeah, super good Jinx play, knowing like I don't need to kill the Nautilus in front of me. I need to follow up on my Lissandra's and Hecarim's damage on the back line. So he gets that, and then Golden Glue, the homie, running after him.
Don't worry,
Can't actually do
man.
anything.
I'll convince him to turn back around here for 1 sec so you
Yeah.
can close the distance. The red buff burn grabs him the pentakill. Jinx getting excited there, moving from there to the Baron and there to the close. So as we were saying, it's not like Cloud9 was ever seriously in danger of losing this game. As you look at that gold graph there, it's red from start to finish. But those dips, those 1,000 gold to 2,000 gold dips, they are not what you want to see post 20 minutes from a team that has the advantage and the better composition at that point in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be too critical on the team. I think they still played pretty well. They did like end up playing the team fights well, and they have the scaling comp. They ended up winning, so I think also you can also highlight how well that they are really functioning in the team fights too.
Yeah.
And to be fair, TSM did play some of them pretty well. It wasn't like they just like dove a turret with 5 people and killed all themselves. Like
Right.
there was a time where Treats lands a nasty hook to stop Lissandra from being able to flash ult, follow up in a skirmish. Like TSM did force some of those fights to go in their favor, so it's not like C9 was just like hard throwing the game.
Treats has been playing quite well.
I mean, that cardboard cutout, man.
That's a guy to keep your eyes on. Interestingly enough, Cloud9's going back to blue side. So both teams have won on red. Both teams want to play on blue. What's going on there?
There must be something weird with draft. I'm not exactly sure.
I'll be honest, like all Academy playoffs and even somewhat LCS playoffs, I'm like, okay, so everyone's staying on their own side, so you're still seeing teams liking red and blue more. And now people are just going hard to blue side even though they're winning on red. So I have a hard time identifying, especially since none of these first picks look super impactful.
Yeah.
Maybe they're like, the Lissandra was great for us. We want to first pick the Lissandra, and even though it hasn't happened yet, maybe that's where the priority's going on blue side. I don't know.
Interesting. We'll have to see what the teams do here in Game 3. Cloud9 Academy have tied up the series. We'll see how TSM recovers when we return.
Ghosting Hecarim.
Goes spot by Blabber. They're going to go for the dive straight through the lane. They had the ult, but it just doesn't matter. Here's Grig back down again. Grabs himself the Rift Tower. Golden Glue self-ult, trying to buy a little bit more time. Golden Glue left out alone in a 1v2. Will not be able to survive it.
Tactical. Yeah, tactical, you over the wall. I'm probably dead. Nice, I'm out. Guys, I gotta help. Nice. Keep going.
We're going.
I'm pushing mid. Nice!
Keith out of the fight for now as it will continue. Golden Glue flashing in. 4-man room with a W there. And that's just carnage there for Cloud9. They'll lose one more. Penta